15-0 is kind of fun. 15-0. The Hoosiers win 56-22. What's the matter with Oregon? What do they got to score late for? What's the matter with them? Take your knees, get on a plane, go to hell home, and figure out how to play against a real football team. Can we do that? Is there anything wrong with that? All right, that wasn't gracious. Oregon, obviously not a bad team. Indiana's the only team to beat them this year. Beat them once by 10 and then once by, I got to do the math, 34. Unbelievable. Sixth time this year that Fernando Mendoza has either had as many or more touchdown passes than incompletions. That's unbelievable. That's 40% of their schedule that he's done that. That's incredible. I've never heard of anything like that. Indiana is just a machine. I think this is, I would have to look. I'm not like a college football historian. I don't know what, Bear Bryant's Texas A&M team did back in the 50s, the Junction Boys or whatever, or what Notre Dame did back in the 50s under Frank Leahy or in the 20s under Knute Rockne. I don't know. But I do know this, that in the last 8 days, Indiana has won as many bowl games as they had prior to those 2 bowl games going back to 1980. So this is quite a run. We've had a hell of an 8 days. Last Thursday, tonight, 2 bowl wins, the Rose Bowl, which they had never won, and now the Peach Bowl, which they played in back when it was not part of the college football playoff, obviously back like 35 years ago, and never won that. They won the Liberty Bowl and they won the Copper Bowl, and before that they won the Holiday Bowl, and other than that, they have never. Those are all the bowl wins until the 2 this year in the Rose and the Peach Bowl, and next week, not really a bowl at all, but it's a national championship game. Does that count as a bowl? If that counts as a bowl, they could equal the entire program history bowl winnings in one 2.5 week period. That's quite insane. Christopher says, yes, what a game. I knew they would win, but not like this. Can't, Hoosiers. I said it was going to be a 28-point game. I said 34-6. I thought that was a little ambitious. As it turned out, it wasn't ambitious at all. Are there any flaws in this team, Kent? What do you think they are? I think they got to get healthy. I want to know about, I know these guys came back into the game, but I want to know about Mikhail Kamara's injury. I want to know also about Charlie Becker's injury. That would be good. And then we'll see. And if those guys are healthy, if they're good to go next Monday night, I expect that game to be a coronation for Indiana. Indiana's not going to expect that. They're going to prepare, and they're going to take it seriously. They will not take it lightly. They're going to prepare correctly, and they're going to get to work because they are one win against a good team, but not a great team, from the most incredible thing maybe in the history of sport as we've ever seen it. Indiana, before this year, was the losingest program in college football history. Nobody had lost more games. And nobody had been really less successful. And until these past 2 years, where Cignetti, what is he now, 26-2? Until that, you had a trail of tears going back forever to the beginning of the program. And now what do you got? You got nothing but joy. You've got fans who are kind of bored saying, okay, show me something in the second half. You know what I mean? That game was over. I love getting to 56, though. That's awesome. IU basketball is going to hand Nebraska their first loss tomorrow as well. Hey, we can only hope, but I got to tell you the truth. That's really the opener. Back in the day, I saw Boston. Right after Boston's first album came out. It's all they had was the first album. And Eddie Money was the second opener. Sammy Hagar was the first opener. IU basketball right now is Sammy Hagar to the football team's Boston. I know it's a dated reference, but you know, get Cignetti a beer? Absolutely, get him a beer. Get the whole damn team a beer. Put a cooler of beer Get Cuban to do it, but Cuban would sell the beer on the plane, and charge cover for the players getting on the plane. That's how Cuban made his money. He used to run a bar, owned a bar in Bloomington called Motley's, where what is it? It's where BW3s used to be. It's right in that tunnel by the upstairs. Anyway, and then he went to Dallas, and they would host parties. And he'd make why go to a party when you can host one and make $10,000? 3 incompletions, quite the night for our Heisman winner, but it is exactly what you expect, right? Against Bama, he did it. Against Illinois, he did it. Against Michigan State, he did it. Indiana State, he did it. I'm trying to think of maybe Wisconsin, maybe? I think we're living in an alternate reality, a really, really weird alternate reality. Let's go IU. Mendoza, really, really good tonight. 17 of 20 for 177, 5-0. David Schweibold says the officiating in that game was absolutely awful. So glad we got it done. Having a beer now, and well, you should. And exactly right about the officials. That late PI, that was garbage. I thought the PI on D'Angelo Pons was garbage. I really thought that they started to think, well, you know what? This is kind of sad for Oregon. So let's see if we can't sync this thing up. Job well done, IU. Go IU, beat Miami. I think they got a good shot of beating Miami. VA Buckeye 94 says largest fan base in the world are rooting for y'all and then a Hattie. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know if have y'all played down in Atlanta and did y'all travel like that? I don't know. You know what? We've always had a large fan base, just nobody ever noticed because we didn't travel well and we never went inside the games. But we always had fans. Ken, seems like only yesterday you weren't even looking forward to Indiana football. Times have changed. For sure, my friend, you're damn right, Evan. The only thing that was good about Indiana football was doing the Tom Allen impression after games, which I don't know if anybody else ever found it funny, but I thought it was hilarious. And if you can't make yourself laugh, what the hell? Ohio State and Oregon are hating that the Cousin Eddie of the Big Ten playing for a title. We were, and now Cousin Eddie done won Powerball, right? Cousin Eddie got straight. Cousin Eddie went to the Betty Ford Clinic and got himself right. That's what Cousin Eddie did. And now we got Kurt Signetti driving that miserable old RV, and we're just fine. Kurt Signetti, this might be, and I've heard this said, I don't know whether it's true or not. I'd have to go back and look at it, but this might be the greatest coaching job in the history of organized sports. Like nobody has, I can't think of a single instance of anybody as quickly as Kurt Signetti has done it, going from here to there. Like that program was in ruin. They won 3 Big Ten games in 3 seasons, leading up to Tom Allen's firing and Kurt Signetti's hire, right? I believe I'm correct in saying that. I'll look it up because that's what I'll do. That's how committed I am to having some kind of an idea what the hell I'm talking about. They won 1 Big Ten game in 23, 2 Big Ten games in 22, and no Big Ten games in 21. And now they won 17 the last 2 years. That's crazy. So they won 3, then they won 6 and 5. So 3, 6, 5, that's, is that 14? That's 14. And so they had won 18 in the previous 7 seasons. And overall wins, this is 15-0. To get to 25 wins, you've got to get, that's 9, and it's 23. You got to go back 18 through 23. They didn't win that many games. My God. It's way past my bedtime. Still 1 more to go. Man, and that's going to be the night we have to work the day after, right? That's going to be a little bit tough. Love it when Signetti smiles. He can get his beer now. Love it. Ken, I'm only here because I'm a sad Colts fan, LOL. Trying to spread some some type of positivity on this Friday, and that's what we do. Kurt looked like he lost this game in the fourth quarter, all business. Now he's soaking suds and deserves it too. Hey, you know what? Because your team deserves your best effort for every single one of those plays. Signetti said it earlier this week. That's how you coach. You coach in the moment. You want your players to play in the moment, you coach in the moment. You want to chip your teeth on your players' helmets celebrating a 3 and out? You're a psychotic. Indiana, man, that's 2 bowl wins. The last time Indiana won 1 bowl, that was in the 1991 season. They won the Copper Bowl. And then prior to that, it was 1988. They won the Liberty Bowl. And before, the only other bowl that they have ever won was the Holiday Bowl in 1979. So they've won ever, prior to this year, 3 bowls. Last 8 days, 2. That's awesome. Really, really good game. Really, really fun game. And we had a great time. Become a subscriber. Become a member. Members only. Coffee with Kent. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, whether you're a breakfast buddy or an all-meal deal member. Subscribers win prizes. We are going to give that. I'm going to see if I can get somebody to sign this. But maybe you don't want it signed. But here is, this is beautiful. This is like an Adidas Gamer was sewn on. You can see the stitching maybe on there. Absolutely beautiful. That set me back $150 cash at the Assembly Hall gift store. We've got a hoodie, Indiana Hoosiers hoodie, that I got down at Alumni Hall on Kirkwood last week, and we'll keep buying more IU stuff because, what the hell? This is unprecedented, right? Where are they going to put all these trophies? Go IU. Where are they going to put all these banners? If they win next week, what do you do with a national championship banner at Memorial Stadium? I don't know if that's ever even been considered. Do you put it indoors? Do you put it outdoors? Do you hang it over the place? Do you put it, hanging facing like Assembly Hall so the guys can walk under it as they make the walk? I don't know what you do with that. Anyway, here's what you do. You'd love to win that? Okay, you'd love to win it. Become a subscriber. And then that makes you eligible to win. And then Go IU, of course, is the phrase that pays. So all comments that say Go IU, those count as an entry. I'll write down your YouTube handle on a ticket, put it in the magnificent prize bucket, and then, of course, we will affix 10 semifinalist tickets on the incredible prize wheel. We will give it a mighty spin, and somebody will win. I don't know when we're going to give it away. I'm going to try to figure out about getting it signed next week. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can't. But I'm going to try because it's a worthy goal. Excuse me for a second. I got to tweak the prize wheel periodically. But an unbelievable game. But not unbelievable. It's entirely believable. It was entirely foreseeable. I said it was going to be, what'd I say? It was a 28-point game, so 34-6, I said. Can my name be on there, Kent, please? It on where? On the wheel? It can be if you make the comment Go IU. At least you're going to get in the bucket. I can't say you're going to become a finalist. Or do you mean the name on the uniform? You would have to do that yourselves. You'd have to, I don't know where you go to do that kind of thing, but no, I'm not a seamstress, and so putting your name on the back of a jersey is not what I do. Do you think there will be a movie based on this? I think they got a little bit more to handle. I think they got one act of the movie left, and that's going to be the national championship game. The tough part of this movie, like a movie about Curt Cignetti's life, that's kind of interesting because you saw a slow ascension as an assistant coach, right? And then he says, the hell with it. I'm going to become a full-time coach. I'm going to Indiana University of Pennsylvania. And he starts from scratch, making like bupkis, and he works his way up over the course of like 15 years. Why did it take 15 years for people in the Big Ten, SEC, Big 12, Pac-12, at the time, ACC, to figure out that Curt Cignetti could coach ball? I mean, what the hell? I think, honest to God, I think ADs, Scott Dolson excluded, are significantly addled for not understanding exactly what this guy does, how he does it, and that it can be exceptionally successful. Like that's hiring managers. I think some of them are the biggest dopes in the history of the world. They don't know how to hire anybody successful. They don't know what that looks like. When it walks in the room, they don't recognize it. And that's job one. Scott Dolson did. And now Scott Dolson, he got to go to Miami next weekend with his Hoosiers and have himself a hell of a time, I hope. It would probably be Tom Cruise or Matt Damon like Signetti. Tom Cruise is like 3.5 feet tall. You'd have to get football players. You'd have to have Munchkins as football players to play for Signetti in that movie, or put like Tom Cruise on stilts. He's a tiny little bitty guy. Actually, he's like 5'7", I think. I played soccer against him in high school. His name was Tom Maypother then. I can't figure out who would play Mendoza. Hell. Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know anybody. Well, you'd need a 22-year-old actor, right, who could throw a football. That's a little bit tough. Signetti, I Just Win, the movie. That'd be perfect. Why can't the championship game be on Saturday night? Here's the reason it can't. It's the same reason why basketball's championship game isn't on Saturday. Because people don't watch TV on Saturday night. Normally, people would not watch it. As many people would not watch a game on Saturday night as they would on a Monday night. The game with Indiana and Miami would get big numbers any night of the week. But if you had like LSU and Oregon, on a Saturday night, you'd really get very little viewership. The moment Signetti was named the head coach, you called it, Kent, that he would be a great coach. And Kent, we trust. I did. Because he embodies everything. All you had to do, and this is all credit to Pat McAfee. McAfee had him on his show. And I watched live, and I was like, damn, I want to hire this guy right now. I got to ask Scott Dolson if that's how he found him. I don't know whether he'd tell me. Maybe he would. But yeah. I mean, leadership, if you've been led well, you understand what good leadership is. If you have not been led well or not paid attention to the leader you had and you're just in it for you don't really know what that is. Curt Signetti brings everything right. He gets out of people's way. He's very efficient. Practices, hour and a half maximum. He tells people exactly how it's going to be. And when it's not that way, guys pack a bag. There is a consequence for every misdeed. There's a consequence. You saw it when D'Angelo Pons had the PI. Came out of the game. Got to be a consequence. Sergeant Zeus says they're going to blow Miami out. Just saying. They're nervous watching these last couple of games of IU. I bet you Miami is arrogant enough to think that Indiana they benefited from good fortune tonight. I'll bet you that Miami thinks that. And Miami's going to do, we're going to do everything they didn't, and we're going to get this thing right, and blah, 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 blah. And then Indiana's going to get out there, knock them in the head a couple of times, and all of a sudden, it's going to be a different ball game. Mike Tyson always said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Yup. Since IU is number one, this game should be rescheduled to Lucas Oil. That'd be very nice. I would appreciate that. I think that'd be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm very happy for Fernando Mendoza, Alberto Mendoza, the entire Mendoza family. They live 3 miles away from Hard Rock? So they could, I guess, if they had comfortable shoes, they could walk to Hard Rock. Yeah, Ducks got steam trained. They did. That was, and you kind of knew it was going to happen. I said 34-6. I was a little bit cynical about the Indiana offense, evidently. Elijah Surratt was really good tonight. You look at his statistics. He had 7 catches for 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Charlie Becker, 2 catches, 48 yards, 1 touchdown. You have Omar Cooper with a touchdown catch, 3 catches, 17. And he got, there was interference on the defender on a late Omar Cooper deal. Spread opened 7.5. I kind of said that it was going to be somewhere north of 7 and around below 10 somehow. 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's going to get bet up. And if it's not bet up to 10 by Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I would be stunned. So you want your 7.5? You want to bet IU and lay the 7.5? I'd get on it quick because that number is going north. I'm telling you. Kalen Black, 12 carries, 63 yards. Really a shame on that hold. I thought that hold was BS. I thought that was crap. That would have put him well over 100 yards. Indiana runs for 186 tonight. Oregon kind of got it going because I think they had a 77-yard run, and that significantly inflated their 93-yard total for the game. And again, Fernando Mendoza, 17 for 20. Hemby, and Black got into the end zone twice. Hemby, 17 for 53. Kobe Martin, 4 for 42. Fernando Mendoza, 6 for 28. Slide, Fernando. Slide. Although, I never want to see you get hurt. Don't get me wrong. But my interest in you sliding is about 10 days from lapsing. So please slide unless he comes back. Wouldn't that be something? I can't believe he'd do it. There's no way he'd do it. How do you improve on this? We talking Colts tomorrow at all, Kent? I have questions. Yeah. You drive the train, Evan, for the all-member Coffee with Kent. You guys drive it. I mean, we're obviously during a post-game for Indiana, we're not talking about the Colts, but tomorrow morning around 9, we will. Colts do have a lot of work to do. You damn right they do. Thomas asks, could you imagine Becker and Alec on the same team with the Colts? He reminds me of Alec so much. Becker is the next Alec. Let's go get him. I wonder where he would be. Alec is, let me see him for a second. Or Charlie. Charlie is a sophomore. So he is not eligible for the NFL draft. He would come back after another year. So, or he could declare his eligibility after another year. And so I don't know what's going to happen with Alec, but they do. They kind of look alike. Obviously, their complexion is very, very similar. Charlie is from Nashville, Tennessee. Both are burners. They high point the ball exceptionally well. They're both willing blockers. They're both 6'4". All kinds of interesting parallels between those two. I completely agree. I balk sometimes at the hey, a white guy's always compared to a white guy, black guy's always compared to a black guy. I balk at that sometimes, but in this case, they're just on the money. Joe Pesci is Kurt Signetti. That would be funny. Joe Pesci's funny in everything. Retired now, but funny. Indiana, again, you know what? They penalized 5 times for 23 yards. That's about average for them. Why is the championship game in Miami? It's kind of like the Super Bowl. This is supposed to be a neutral site. It would be in Miami if Texas, wait a second, if Ole Miss had beaten Miami, it would still be in Miami. So these are determined long in advance. Like there's one of these at Lucas Oil Stadium, which would be neutral, right? They could do it in Detroit. That's going to be neutral, but it's not kind of neutral if Michigan plays. You could do it Houston. I don't think the Cougars are ever going to make this thing. You never know, I guess. But Dante Moore, not real good tonight. Dante Moore, 24 of 39, 2 touchdowns, an interception. They had fumble issues. Dante with one of them. The seating in Hard Rock Stadium will be a total reversal from the Peach Bowl. I don't know about that. Indiana's willing to pay. Indiana fans are going. Right? It could be the traditional IU fan experience where you go to the game, you're at the stadium, but you stay in the parking lot and you hang out until, the gates open, and then you walk in without getting a ticket. Could be that kind of thing. Portal phone will be hot this week. I kind of hope not. Signetti's got to really hold firm. in building to the culture that he's got. Do not defy the culture in order to bring 5-star portal guys in. Don't do it. Don't sell your soul and bring in better athletes, because better athletes don't win. This NIL thing has done a lot to create what IU's got, because IU, with the portal, not paying guys, but they're selecting wisely. They're going out and selecting the right kind of guys, where other programs, they're bidding for the best talent. Indiana's not doing that. Indiana knows what it wants as far as human beings. They go after the human being first and the football player first too. They're like that. Football character is what they look for. And football character isn't necessarily revealed in the kind of things that give a guy an extra star. Stars mean nothing. Surratt, 0 stars, right? None. Donut. Mendoza had like no offers, basically. He had to go to Cal. Fisher, I don't think had any stars. I don't think Kamara had any stars. I don't think Pons had any stars. These guys are going to win a national championship in 10 nights. It's crazy. Evan says, any idea how many of these Indiana Hoosiers will fall to pick 47 for our Colts? Lots of them. I would take Aiden Fisher immediately. I know his speed may be an issue, but he's got to be faster than Zaire Franklin. And that guy hits like a truck. Will the Colts somehow get Mendoza and Cignetti? No, they will not get either. I'm sorry. You know what? I got to tell you the truth. What's with the IU players whining about playing time last Monday? I didn't hear any of that. Who? Basketball? Or who? Yeah, I didn't hear any of that. If I were Mendoza, I would tell Mark Davis, not me, pal. I ain't signing. You draft me, good luck to you, because I'm not coming. I'll go ahead and enter the draft next year, too. Cam Newton is lucky this game happened on a Friday. He's useless. He's got a funny hat and a scarf. You know, funny hat and a scarf doesn't make you a great communicator. It doesn't make you great on TV. To me, it makes you weak. Great pick, Kent. We need edge rusher bad for the Colts. We do. Do you think Omar Cooper will stay? I don't know. I think it depends. I think it depends on how he projects. I think he can go through like a pro day and see where he's at. Richardson had many stars, but is a flop as a pro QB. True, although a lot of that's not really his doing. A lot of it had to do with injuries. Over under how many Miami alumni on sideline? I'll tell you what. I think that kind of thing should be limited. Number of people on the sideline. The NFL is very serious about that. I think they should be serious about that at the college level too. Like this isn't some kind of hobnob, for God's sake. This is a football game. If you ain't playing, get the hell off the field. Ballard with another top pick at edge. No, thank you. Get a linebacker. Why is player quality better for college, not pro? I don't know what that means. IU football players whine to Cignetti, said during game. I don't know. He does what he does. Everybody wants to play. I don't think the Mendoza family was happy that Alberto didn't get in. I don't blame him. When my kid played at Loyola of Chicago, when he didn't play, I was hot. I wasn't happy. I only made noise about it one time, but I'm glad that social media didn't exist the way it exists now. I think I would be famous if it did. Going to bed now, Kent. Have a great sleep tonight. Absolutely. Hopefully we see you in the morning, Evan. Coffee with Kent. Off we go. About 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Get a good night's sleep. We're back at it tomorrow. And IU, what time they play? They play at like noon, don't they? I should know that kind of thing. But this was too much fun. I'm thinking about football more than I'm thinking about anything else. Right? I don't apologize for it. Yeah, noon on BTN. So we'll have a post game immediately after. Ought to be awesome. I can't wait. Come on. You know what? What could work against Indiana basketball tomorrow? They could be up. They could be amped over the win by Indiana football and have a tough time sleeping a little bit and get up a little bit later than normal or a little bit groggy. Wouldn't want to do that.